Hello and welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Orphans of the Dawn on Vancouver by Night. As always, I am your storyteller, Petra Skelton. I'm incredibly happy to be here, but I'm not the only one here. And I forgot to warn everybody that I was going to call out to each of them, so they're all going to be mad at me. It's fine. I'm on full bimbo hours right now. We're good. We're living life. I'm gonna throw it over to Tutu because their face story has thus far done the most roasting of me. So it's on you now.
So sorry, Petra. Hi, friends. You could call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. My pronouns are she, they. I will be playing Electo, the Bruja, whose pronouns are they, she.
And going over to Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny, Danny's Corner. Playing Ayotunde. Pronouns they, them. Me, Danny, pronouns are she, they. But the person whose pronouns are they, them is Ayotunde, who is taking a nap, have a little sleep, and they're okay.
EP as
EP!
always. Throwing it to Morgan.
Hello, I'm Aubrey, and I use she, her pronouns, and I play Morgan, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Throwing it over to Jesse.
Hello, my name is Jesse, and I play Khalees, the Thin Blood, both he hims.
Which of course brings us to Julian.
Hello, I am Julian, and tonight I shall bring you Sunny, who is our resident Ravenos. He, him pronouns on both fronts.
And I forgot to say my pronouns. They're she, they, but it's fine. Tonight I might as well just be a little worm. We're good. Let's
Worm.
There's that
Yeah.
fucking worm thing
I
again.
feel worm.
Don't-
Sunny might change eventually, depending on how things go.
Yeah.
You know, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Let's go now. Well, we should probably catch everybody up to where we left off. All of you finally got together after a, shall we say, a messy meetup wherein cars were flipped, flashbangs were had, harsh language, and bitterness abounds. And we're not just talking about Electo. No. I'm a Looney Tune today. Where we pick up with everyone, majority of our party has entered into sleep as the fleeting cycle between day and night has shifted as it always does. The state of the world within the shattered world of Gehenna, rendering that all but that much more mercurial. Some of you have chosen to sleep. Two of you have not. And so we're picking up with those two currently located in the hematology lab, I'm assuming?
It's a lab. Whether or not it used to be the hematology lab is a totally different story.
Your lab.
Yes,
Khalees's
my lab.
Okay. So we're going to pick up right there where outside the sun is blazing down on a city, light reflected off of the countless shards of broken glass. Kindred hiding to finding shelter wherever they can. But inside this building, Khalees is working. And remind me if I'm wrong, did you get hungrier or not get hungrier?
Sorry, I had to look at my character sheet, scroll down a little bit to the hunger section, which shows me at 2 hunger currently.
So you did get a little hungrier then.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. The hospital is quiet during the day. It's quiet during the night too, but there are early sounds, quiet rumbles that shake through the hospital that always exist when the humans are up and about, starting to go about their work. That's something you can feel now. What is Khalees currently doing?
Well, the friends are asleep, and Mikhail left to go talk to their companions. So I think Khalees is probably sitting alone for a short amount, sort of anxiously looking at a lot of things, like trying to keep the brain busy by finding alternative things to look at and think about rather than the thing that Khalees wants to think about. Sort of just looking at the blood that was made of sun. Well, it's not made of sun anymore. It's dulled, and trying to figure out why that was, thinking about the entirety of his unlife because he just met somebody from his when he was still alive. And so now it's weird because there's somebody who exists that knows Khalees from a time that no one knows Khalees, or no one alive in his head knows about Khalees. So it's kind of weird and awkward, and he's trying to regain a sense of like the identity that he's looking for.
Okay. It's during this point when Khalees is having these struggles that the unmistakable sound of a gurney being wheeled down your hallway punctuates the dull silence, the hospital hall.
Khalees will like sort of get out of his fugue state and just sort of push himself away from the table, because a gurney means bad. This means bad, right? This is a bad sound. So Khalees is going to leave the space, actually check in on Io first, because I don't know if this is going to take more than an hour. And then, sort of restart my timer in my head to then go out into the rest of the hospital. I mean, human encampment.
Yeah, it's so you don't have to go very far because as you exit out, the gurney wheels around the corner and several someones are wheeling the gurney towards you. The person on the actual gurney themselves looks in rough shape. They look like they kind of got in a fight with a blender. Their arms are shredded. Their clothes look in disrepair. Everyone's do, but these look recent. And the people moving them, two of them are of the human encampment, scientists and doctors that you've interacted with in the past. And then the final person that's with them is their friendly neighborhood former member of the Second Inquisition, who's walking alongside. And the gurney stops. You see the person on the actual gurney itself is breathing shallow breaths. They might not even be conscious. He looks at you and goes, you have empty bags, right?
Bags?
Blood bags.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't I?
Cool. He's dying. Take his blood.
Hey, see, he said take his blood.
Mm.
Okay, good. That's what I thought. Actually, I would like you to move them to that room over there. Over there.
Fine. But I can handle it from here. And he motions to the doctors, and he starts moving the gurney himself and goes, listen, this needs to be done before
Actually, I think I can do it myself. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave him with you. Fine. This has to be done before, let's say before 8 p.m. Get it done. I'll get
I will
get
get it done.
dry ice brought.
I'm not worried about the smell, okay? Just go.
All right. You know, I'm gonna make a roll here real quick. Got to make sure
Sure.
that this guy can hold on to something real. Just a moment. Okay, old prejudices do not win out, and he looks at you, and you see that you've heard all number of foulness come out of this person's mouth before. They look at you and they consider it. They think better of it and go, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. You will not see them at all.
I mean, I'd prefer not to see you. Just load them in the bins that come over.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
and if your friend's gonna wander, can you do me a favor and at least, I don't know, what do you get a bell? And he'll
Listen.
walk off.
Okay. Khalees is going to look down at this poor sap and make a judgment call. Are they on death's door, or is it?
It's like I said, it's unclear what did this to them. You could roll medicine if you really want to figure it out.
I do have medicine, so I would like to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to test fate and rouse. I'm just going to do a just as quick a glance as I can and make a judgment call. Because I can't risk getting hungrier right now.
Yeah. That would be a bad idea while draining blood.
Yeah, you're right. And fortune favors the bold. All successes on these dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Okay. So you've seen what it looks like when you're old enough that you've seen what happens when a vampire tangles with something between man and wolf. Something that's been shredded. Seeing it on a mortal is a different thing entirely. This person is beyond death's door. They are not conscious, as you can tell, and what parts of their body are still working are basically autonomic. They're not. They are a pulse. That's about it.
Can't let you go to waste, can I? And Khalees will stomach it enough to just kind of get it over with and get what little is left, because it would appear that most of it is on the gurney itself. I mean, as somebody who's done a lot of thin blood alchemy and I have to use, all of the blood, I probably can save most of it. So I'm going to make sure that I do that.
Okay. You rolled well enough on your medicine check. I don't think making you roll for this really makes sense. I think we can carry that forward into this.
Sure.
To your ability, just because it makes sense to me that while you're assessing, you would have been setting up. So,
sure. It is. It's a finish it up, and then, I'm I don't think we'd spend electricity on freezers unless we're using that for food. So,
It's funny you mention that because as you're finishing, those doctors from before are just finishing dropping off coolers with dry ice inside them.
that is great. And we're gonna bury our friend in dry ice for now. And kind of leave that in the dedicated corner.
Okay. While that's happening, Sunny,
Yes.
you were a wandering.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I believe that Sonny, in his hopes of Khalees coming to him for conversation, because he doesn't want to burden him with unnecessary feelings, information, and whatnot. So I think what he did is I think that he went back to his Ravnos cultist buddies to give a status report update to say that he has a group of individuals. Are they the right individuals?
Hmm.
There's fate for everything, and I believe that there are strands of fate for these individuals.
Sunny would be speaking to the leader of his little cult, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I forget her name, but he has grown to love her deeply, question mark.
She dresses mostly. If you're okay, are you okay with me describing this cultist?
Yeah, sure, go for
Okay.
it. Dress her however you would like.
Kindred fashion, as described when introducing Electo to this narrative, has evolved past several what we'll call human sensibilities. Humans have continued to layer up because it's when you don't have centralized heating, when you don't have all these different ways of protecting yourself from the elements, you need several layers. Vampires have started to do the opposite.
Mm,
Your the member, like the leader of your cult, mostly dresses herself in jewelry, small
okay.
little body mods, small like chains, links. There's an interesting element to the jewelry where, despite there being so many of them, when you look at the jewelry itself, it's like it never interrupts itself. It's like the chains each have their own designated road to travel along her body. She looks at you. How many are there?
Outside of myself, there are 4 in total.
Where are they?
They're within the walls of the compound as of right now. I believe that they're going to want more information. I hope that it is all right that I could bring them to you if they have questions. After all, I may know how to weave a story through a paintbrush, but you're far better with words.
Don't sell yourself short. We wouldn't have found them without you.
I consider it the strings of fate and his word. He gestures upward in a general direction.
As you do that, she reaches forward and takes your hand and aims it towards the ground, redirects it towards the ground, and says, one of the others came back, said that they found something.
Define something that could be good or bad.
a door.
Oh, yes. I heard someone did tell him about the door, right?
That's a really good question. I don't know if anybody shared that. Because that would have been Electo, Morgan, and Danny. Yeah, that would have been Io, Electo, and Morgan who would have seen
Yeah.
that. So I don't know if
So
you've shared that.
I don't think they shared that with him.
Yeah.
So okay, so he's hearing about the door for the first time, and he nods and he goes, door, yes, yes. Oh, and by the way, and he tries to like gently pull back away from her touch, and he starts patting at all his pockets and whatnot, and torn, burnt pieces of clothing in his own jingles and bobs that he has, and he pulls out the burnt the burnt umber crayon. And he's
She
like, he finally got one.
That's funny. The door they found was colored with one of those.
Then you should know more than I that we were meant to come here.
Did others get these crayons?
He knows that Ayotunde has one, right? I know that at least one other has one. The Malkavian. Of course, the Malkavian would have one. But this color, this isn't for me.
She tilts her head, and as she does, you keep thinking she's going to stop, and then her neck like twists to an angle that should be deeply painful and uncomfortable.
Hear a
And she
couple
says,
pops.
yeah, she says, whose is it?
A lost memory that I wanted to have joined the Orphans of the Dawn a long time ago.
If others have these, bring them to the door. I want to know what's behind it. And I want to know if it's the right color.
This color. And he wiggles the crayon between them.
Xanthic, as it's known.
Xanthic, yes, Xanthic. Xanthic's pit hides not the moon, but she who bears it coming soon. And he kind of twists. He twists on a heel. Well, then, if that's the case, it would seem that my plan to putting the ball in his court did not go as according to plan. Perhaps I should deliver it myself.
Perhaps. You know,
See, yes.
she leans close. You'll know the heart. I just don't know if you'll know it before it's in your hands.
That's always the role of the fool, isn't it? To
Uh,
always keep looking forward and never back.
You play the role so good, though.
Is that role coming to an end?
We
He
weren't
just
we weren't handed the full script.
he just steps back and he kind of gives like a brief little like bow before he goes to
She'll return the bow, which isn't a
oh,
thing she usually does.
interesting. Senpai noticed me. And he will go and continue while also wondering, what does this have to do with the daughter of Eve? Curious. Very
It's a
curious.
very good question. At this point, before you, as you're on your way back to the hospital, Electo, you're dreaming. Dreams sometimes painted in watercolor instead of acrylic tend to blur and be intangible things you can run yourself through. Maybe these are memories, but you see your siblings. Hands are out, stretched towards you. Do you reach towards them?
Yes.
Your hands blur into theirs, and we're going to move from you. You are also dreaming. But in your dream, you never left a dock. You're standing on wood that has had the soak of a lake etched into every single fiber, whether from errant splash or rain's flood. Someone is choking on their own blood by your feet. You remember them looking at you with fear, desperation, looking for help. But in this moment, in this dream, what you see, they look jealous. Heyo, your dream is colorful. You cannot see anything, but you can feel it. It's soft, comforting. There are no voices. It's quiet. But the comfort all around you stops simply conforming and starts to press in. Velvet and felt, blurring the lines of person. And then we come back to the hospital where Sunny will have just made it back. And Khalees, you will be finishing up at this point with that work and probably moving on to something else, I'm assuming?
Yeah, probably just finished washing the hands and kind of putting things in their appropriate spots. Khalees probably writes down, what I have Iron Gullet. No, I'm not going to test it.
Okay.
So I am just sort of like dating it, sort of like when was it drawn, when was it put in the fridge, and stuff like that, and maybe some rough descriptors, because I feel like Khalees would know that there is a need to describe things as much as possible in like tags, mostly because this is also currency for him.
It is indeed. How much do you give? Like, do you put in the coolers for them, and how much do you keep for yourself?
I don't know what's considered fair, you know, like in this situation. I am clearly in the minority here, in this space, so I feel like
Yeah.
I should get a bigger cut. I'm also making sure that electricity is being kept in this location, and I need blood to do it.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna go with a 70-30.
Okay, that makes sense. Around when Sunny arrives, one of the doctors is arriving as well. And they look at the coolers. This person you've seen in passing, they typically, when they've passed by, they've been extremely respectful. They have a shock of hair that travels across their head, cut into a very clean mohawk that they clearly take very good care of. Um, but the rest of them is every bit as much a person can look like a doctor in after Gehenna. The lines of their face suggest that there's possibly were a punk in the pre-world, but this is who they are now. And they go, am I good to take this?
Yes, go ahead. Feel free to, and let me know if that's enough.
Yeah. Uh, Carl wasn't an asshole, was he? I told him to not be an asshole. So
Carl's always an asshole. It's Carl's personality trait. It's the thing that this apocalypse has distilled Carl into.
yeah. You know, he was an asshole before all of this, right?
Well, I mean, look at him.
I know, but like I've made worse mistakes in my life, but he was one of them. But like I will tell you, having an ex that used to hunt things actually kind of useful. Even if he is a piece of shit. Uh
Well then, did
oh,
I
hey, hi.
did I
Sunny.
you
Sunny.
know, I did wonder that about Carl, just at a glance from the few conversations we've had.
He's good trade. That's it. That's what he's good for. That and a gun. Uh, he
Everybody loves
also
a gun.
he also knows like weird shit. Like we found a safe in one of the SkyTrain stations that just had too much shit in it. Too much shit. Anyways,
Yeah,
okay.
it's absolutely wild, you know, how he knows those things.
I'll take this stuff.
Mhm.
Thank you. We're gonna be doing some shit tonight. Uh
I don't think I'm going to be able to do tonight, actually.
no, I wasn't gonna. I mean, I might have, but it's fine. Like we don't need. It's all good. Thank you, though. I do really appreciate it.
No,
Um,
there's always next time.
yeah, no, totally. That's fine. I'm gonna go and we'll take the coolers and fuck off, leaving Sunny and Khalees there together.
You can go back and talk with him if you would prefer. I just needed to deliver something to you.
It's fine. I am just going through the motions right now.
I suppose so. That is one way of dealing with the information you've gotten.
There, it's just that usually my routine involves day work and then evening chat times with Io, and occasionally I'll go visit Morgan. occasionally. I don't like the tower that much anymore. And now, I have a stranger in my haven, and I have you here. And that doesn't happen for no reason.
Police. And he kind of like walks into the room, but it's kind of like he's like half paying attention to Khalees. It's more like he's looking around as to what he was doing, just out of curiosity. You know, Rav knows things. You can't really control yourself. Impulse control, what's that? And he goes, "Do you believe in being connected to the earth?"
I don't know. I have no real connection with the earth anymore. I'm not of this earth anymore, you know, because we're both the same thing now.
Yes, that is true. Though I was still only a neonate at the time. Me and your sire, I presume, were both young and stupid for doing the things that we did. He shakes his head as he kind of like is almost like dusting away the cobwebs in his mind.
No, I understand. Being a neonate is like being a teenager.
I suppose that is one way of putting it, yes. But I was, from the very moment of my embrace, I was involved with a purpose. That I was chosen. He puts his hands like to his chest. It's showing the various spectral rings that he has that all look like sunbeams, and to all the baubles. It is specifically that vessel of blood that he has around his neck. And he looks towards Khalees. And he says, I totally forgot what I was saying. Can you remind me what I was saying?
You were talking about your purpose, the purpose you were connected
Oh
to?
yes, my purpose. Yes, it's exactly. It's very complicated. I'm very old. My purpose is to be punished. Kindred exist to be punished. Whether or not we deserve to stay should not be decided by our hands. And it is my duty, my mission is to find the daughter of Eve. She will decide.
Okay. Say, I agree with you. That I believe that this is a curse that needs to be removed. And the daughter of Eve, apparently there's a daughter of Eve now.
It's involved in the Book of Nod.
I don't read the Book of Nod. That wasn't what they taught me. You know, that wasn't what they taught me.
I know.
So there's a daughter of Eve, and how do you find the daughter of Eve?
I follow his. And he gestures up towards the sky. His guidance. And at night, I follow her guidance.
That didn't answer my question.
Oh, I know. It's difficult to explain. I wish I could ask you to just fall on simply trust, but if you need to know concrete information, then please come speak with my mentor. She can understand. She will understand.
Both of you feel a pull from the center of your gut, the kind that suggests that the shift from day to night is occurring. It's only been about 6 hours of daytime, but the pull, you can already feel it.
Oh. So for Khalees, you will suddenly see Sunny look very ill at the pole. And he kind of takes a very deep wheeze of a breath, and he kind of slaps a hand on like one of the counters or whatever. He kind of leans over to the side and goes, I see the sun is setting soon. Are you hungry by chance?
Yes, yes, obviously. I
You can take
you
advantage of
all
it now before I turn again.
yeah, Khalees is going to, because I don't know, right? Because not Wicked Nightmares happened in 1999. And that's when most of the Ravnos went bye-bye.
Mhm.
And so the chances of Khalees having met a Ravnos in the post-apocalypse is probably none. So there's no way I know what the curse has become for the Ravnos.
But you did see him become human like everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess logic dictates. Does Khalees have enough of that brain to work to make that leap in conclusion?
Do you want to roll to see? Because if
Sure.
there's uncertainty, we can do that. I would say occult and a mental stat of your choice.
Okay. I'm gonna use intelligence because I have that,
Okay.
and I lost a lot of my my occult in the interim. So, but I still did not too bad. That's 4 successes. So I'm gonna assume that he kind of can make that conclusion.
Okay.
And I am hungry. So, and this is vampires. So, Khalees will consider the opportunity to take the blood. I am a bagger, but that's not going to provide a penalty or anything like that. So, Khalees is going to reach for Mikhail and sort of grab him and ease him onto the gurney that I just emptied off. And set him down and say, how long does it normally take?
As long as it takes the sun to go down.
Then if you forgive me if I take a quick snack.
As long as you're willing to return the favor.
You haven't earned that yet. And he will go down and he will take a slate.
I'm sorry. That was perfect. You both role played this scene exceptionally. Just that was the perfect tapper there. Sorry about that.
This is the one question I did have. The moment that Does this blood hurt? It is mortal blood.
It does not hurt.
Okay, cool. I needed that answer.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it doesn't hurt. I'm not going to explain further, but it doesn't. As you're doing this, as you two are enjoying this time, the other three of you are beginning to wake up. I'm going to get all of you to roll hunger, see if you get hungrier. But y'all are going to wake up with that crayon in your hand, regardless.
Someone gave it to me before I fell asleep because I was trying to stay awake, but I guess I failed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I failed my rouse check, so I will be getting hungrier.
Beautiful.
I succeeded.
Okay, you're good.
Rousing success.
Fantastic. So the two of you do not get hungrier, but unfortunately, as Electo wakes up, inside your hand is a violet crayon. It's less than a quarter of one. Looks like it's been used repeatedly, but the tip of it is still sharp.
Have I seen something like this before? What the fuck?
No.
I hate it here. I hate it here. Nothing makes any goddamn sense anymore. Sure. Put it in my pocket and make sure all of my shit is still on me.
Yep, you're everything. If anybody looks, you still got all your stuff. Unless this is actually a question for me to no. No, yeah, I'm gonna ask. Does anybody keep any clothes, extra clothes, to be clear, extra clothing items on them? Whether it's rags, or anything like that.
I mean, wear like t-shirt, flannel, then usually have a leather jacket over that, but I don't keep extra clothes that I'm not wearing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you need anything, I have plenty of clothes. Some of these scrubs are a little bit dirty, but they're really, really great for covering splatter. So
Sunny can probably get clothing from the group. I doubt anyone is his height to borrow his clothes.
No.
He'd have to like cut off like a good couple, feet.
As you all come out of your rooms, I'm assuming you go to Kalisa's lab because it's where Kalisa's lab is, yes?
I mean, I thought we were in the lab.
Well,
they are in the lab.
Yeah.
You're
like
in the
their
lab.
room.
You're in side rooms, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm guessing you
Go
come
out
out
into the main part of the lab, yeah.
So you come out just in time for the tail end of the feeding to be happening.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
No, no. You're muted, Julian.
Sorry, I was gonna say, can I make this super comedic right
Yes.
Go for
now? The
it.
moment Khalees looks up to answer, Sunny's head just drops thud, dead. Like that was the moment he died.
Don't worry. He said he was gonna come back.
Yeah. Weird kind of shit. Okay.
Does he come back?
I'd say it probably takes like a couple minutes
Okay.
for the
good.
body to like reboot, but then it's like the same process of as if going through your first embrace all over again.
Do you
It's
want to?
horrendous.
Okay, cool. So, you're Ravnos. We're gonna do a cool thing with this. All of you remember being embraced. you never got to see yourself be embraced. That's out-of-body experiences are a whole other trip. I mean, maybe some Malkavians have seen it. In this instance, as Sunny comes back to unlife, to each of you see something as if looking through a prism where you see Sunny, but his skin reminds you of your skin. The nature of the bite reminds you of your embrace. Even the scent in the air is familiar to when the night you were embraced, and then it's done, and Sunny is back.
Okay. Maybe they should stop smoking.
Yeah, I heard those things will kill you.
Mm.
Ha
I'll
ha
keep
ha,
that in
very
mind.
funny.
And then I'll roll for my my awaking to see if I get hungrier. I do. I'm at 3 hunger now.
By the way,
Double it and give it to the next person.
Love it where we're headed. This is great. I will say, Sunny, wits and perception for me.
Okay.
Because one of you did something very, very cool, and it provides an opportunity here that I need to have fun with.
Okay, cool. I will do that for you. And when you say perception, you mean awareness, right?
Yes, I do. My brain did a
Okay.
thing. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. I just wanted to clarify.
Wits and awareness.
Okay.
What if you played an entire VTM game as if it was a D&D game, but like with
I mean, I could see it being done. It would take a someone's probably already done a conversion.
too many
Guide.
layers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got 3 successes.
I thought it was just called Exalted.
Nice.
Or
So,
Godbound.
Julian,
Yes.
Sunny sees in Electo's pocket something, the tip of something violet that looks violet, but in that specific texture of a crayon.
That would
And
appeal to him as an artist. He just smiles to himself. And it's like he's nodding. And then he kind of like, he rolls off the gurney and he looks over towards Morgan as if almost expecting to see one.
where is Morgan keeping her crayon?
Pocket of the flannel.
Okay. Do you think it's visible?
Possibly. Depends on because jacket over the flannel is not closed. So
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah. So as you look to Morgan, perhaps hoping or expecting, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 15 minutes, at which point we will resume and pick up where we left off, and some things are going to happen. Please, by all means, go get food, have times. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you soon. Hello and welcome back, everybody. I was doing perfectly normal facial expressions. Don't worry about it. Thank you for coming back to part 2 of this current session of Orphans of the Dawn on VBN. Before we get back into it, and before I mention our lovely sponsors, who I should have mentioned at the beginning of this episode, She's a Professional, I would like to just remind everyone that this is a horror game. It might deal with difficult themes or upsetting content at times. Our goal is to never have a table environment that harms or upsets anyone here working, but that also extends to you, the audience. If at any point you feel or are beginning to feel uncomfortable or just discomforted in any way with what you're watching, I encourage you, step away, take a break. You can always come back if you really want to. The VOD will be on YouTube. Your personal health is always more important than watching us play vampire, but we're so thankful you're here. So, without further ado, I will introduce all of our lovely sponsors. So, thank you to our sponsor, Mikhail Artoria of Artoria Designs, who creates beautiful dice boxes. Please visit him on Instagram. The link is in the chat. Illuminagents is a comedy web series that weaves real conspiracy theories into its sci-fi short-form episodes. Shot in Toronto, this indie production will leave you laughing and questioning reality at the same time. Watch season 1, which includes the musical finale episode, for free on Sika.tv. I believe they also won an award. Orc.style is an adults-only fantasy fetish fashion brand for all of you orc-loving monster huggers out there. Orc.style t-shirts, underwear, and accessories are sure to drop your intelligence and increase your confidence by 10 points. Find their links in the chat as well. Martlet Games is a collective of ttrpg veterans ready to work for you, from tabletop RPG development to actual play production. They've contributed to various Storyteller Vaults titles, and sponsor channels like us to keep the world of darkness a haven for those with stories to tell. Visit their link in the chat to explore their world. They can help you create yours. And last, well, not last, Demiplane, with whom several of us have made characters, read our books, learn the rules, constantly look up rules that we thought we remembered, but we definitely didn't. Demiplane is a great resource. Systems from from vampire to werewolf, the Avatar system, which is really fun, by Magpie, and finally, our last, not really sponsor, just one of the reasons we're able to do this, Vancouver by Night. Steve, you can't see him right now, but he's definitely in the chat while you're watching this, and he's right there. I can see him, but he is a wonderful producer and creator in this space, and it's always just a delight to get to work with him. So without further ado, and without me gold blooming too much more, let's get into it. So, night has fallen. You're all awake again, all standing in the same room. What breaks the silence first?
Is Sonny still just like eyeballing us?
He is definitely craning his 6'7" string bean body over Morgan, kind of smiling in a very I don't want to say feral way, but it's very elated. And even though one does not procure itself, he will go, well, it would seem that fate has brought us all here tonight. We have to see a door. A door that matches this.
Hmm.
And he procures the sandy, burnt umber, xanthic colored crayon. And then it's like he shows it off to you guys first before turning to Khalees and says, "This was always the color that you had me draw you in. So I know it's yours." And he just flicks his thumb to like toss it towards you.
Not necessarily hear about a door. You may call it fate, but I'm definitely here for a reason.
Is there a door that was in the general vicinity when you moved Khaleesi's car?
I mean, it's underground. There are a lot of doors.
Yeah.
Was it that color?
Yeah, but
Perfect. Then we have clarification of where
yeah,
it is.
no,
We need to go and see what is beyond the door.
I don't think so. And Morgan is gonna sort of just put it away, like push, showing she is armed. Says, "I'm here for a reason. I've been told that you can take me to somebody I need to kill."
And who are you looking at when you say that?
I'm guessing that Sunny is the Ravnos that I was told to find.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I don't know. So I'm definitely looking at Sunny. And
He's blinking and he's like, "No offense, dear Morgan, but that is news to me considering that I'm fairly new to the area."
ferryman named Wayne was told you know where he is.
SD, can you refresh my memory?
Yes. So this is an excellent moment. In entering Vancouver, your cult had to procure certain means by which to find their current haven, set themselves up. Those means came through a ferryman known as Wayne.
Mm,
Their cigarette smoke clung to the very essence of their being, as if they were just a walking cloud of stinking, chain smoking exhalation. They had
okay.
a sallow face, deep set eyes that seemed to themselves burn like little xanthic spots in the dark,
Hmm.
and teeth that were too many and too thin.
Excellent. And I know the whereabouts he usually haunts, at least.
No,
No.
you know that he, like many of the ferrymen, is underground.
Okay. Interesting. And then Sunny like considers and his head kind of tips to the side and he's like, "Who gave you that information? Because it's very interesting. I do know Wayne vaguely from when I first arrived, but I spend more time on the surface than I do underground."
Person who runs the Coliseum.
Am I familiar with her?
Um, your current haven is close to Columbia's whole setup, so there would have been some tithing that would have need to be paid. Um, but you probably haven't had one-on-ones with Columbia at any point.
I see, I see. This is probably Columbia's way of asking for us to kindly introduce ourselves to the area. I'll make sure that I send the right the people to go and say hi and to give what resources that we have, which is not much, mind you. We are not very rich people just because we can survive on the surface.
I mean, I don't give a shit about that part. I don't work for Columbia.
So, do you then tell me something? Do you care about figuring out the future of your kind and what fate involves your kind, and whether or not you could change that fate, or your own personal grudges and transgressions.
Personal grudges and transgressions.
Please, I don't think they're a very good option for your coterie.
Well, I never said that everybody here believes in um Gehenna.
But they were all with you during this tower incident that I keep hearing about, yes?
I was there because I killed my sire.
This tower incident, by the way, Electo. This is the first time you've heard about this. This is nothing.
Fuck are you talking about, Morgan?
Place I've made my haven, big fucking tower, used to belong to my sire. About 5 years ago, I guess. I got was Seattle, got a message saying it was time for me to come home. So came home with a thought of just killing him anyways. And then after a night of hell, going up through this tower, including so much shit. I killed him, and then we all watched Gehenna happen.
Now, do you want to finish Gehenna?
I really don't give a shit about Gehenna.
Yeah, that's not going. We should just see.
Look, you helped me with Wayne. You find me Wayne, and I know he's dead. Sure, fuck it. I'll help you with shit. Boon for a boon.
We have time. Do we have time? We have to have time. I have to have trust. Yes, trust. Okay, yes. And he goes over to extend a hand to you, a very thin, bony, fingered hand.
I'll shake your hand with my very 3 strength so that I'm very short but very strong.
Okay, I also have 3 strength, but I think it's just because it's bones. And he shakes your hand, and then he regards Electo, and he goes, "And what about you?
What about me?
You two are together. You arrived together. Are you both in on the same mission?"
I am here to protect the interests of Miss Columbia.
Very well. But I do see it. And he kind of points to where the crayon is. Well, fine. We go, we do what we can with Wayne. I don't exactly know where he is. And then we go to the door. Correct? Unless magically one of you knows where the Daughter of Eve is.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
What?
It sounds like a 90s goth band.
He sighs and he goes, "I will educate you on the way."
Well, while we're working on that, do you want to start with what the fuck that means? And then I'll hold up the crayon in 2 fingers.
Oh, you have one.
Pull out the green crayon.
Oh, you all
Mm.
have one. Wait, how did that happen?
Excellent,
I
excellent.
I actually honestly just thought it was you, IO. It seems like a thing you would do.
Yeah.
And then Sunny will point to the one that he had that he gave to Khalees. He's like, excellent, excellent. So these crayons are used as a means of entry with the other mortal settlements, one with the kids.
That is the first most of you have ever heard of that shit.
I've been watching them ever since I got here. They're so strange and interesting. And it's like you could tell he's very curious about whatever the fuck they're doing, and he
Mm.
has to almost like reel himself back in, and he goes, "That's what they're for." Almost like a tagging system that one would use to communicate while going through the tunnels.
There's a camp
And
of
if
kids down there.
yes, they're teenagers.
I met one actually. They needed things for the neighborhood.
Oh, do you know which one?
The one that gave me a crayon
Of
from the
course.
neighborhood.
Sunny just nods and accepts that. But my mentor, the one who has sent me here in the first place, the reason why we're here in the first place, asked me to check the color of the crayon with that door.
And I will also say that Aubrey, Morgan, and Electo did trace Wayne's scent to just kind of outside that door. Maybe. You might have been waylaid. Who knows? But it did track you that way.
What if the needs to be dead guy is the door?
Or beyond it.
And we'll go
That's
through the
what I said.
fucking door.
Great! I'm glad that we finally all came to reason. Wonderful. I'll educate you all on the way.
What
And
just
he
happened?
starts going, he goes to the door.
So just proselytizing the entire way.
He is explaining the Orphans of the Dawn to them
Jesus Christ.
and what they stand for.
Before we leave, as people are like suddenly leaving, I think Ao is going to oh god. Yeah, they're going to like stop Electo. Like as everybody's walking out, Ao will just sort of like tug at Electo's sleeve, I think, and like be beside them. I will say, you're still new.
New to what?
Yes. It's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. I just mean I think that's cool. So don't die.
I'm already dead, kid.
Well, don't do it again.
There are worse things than death.
That.
Yeah, I've done that to several people.
I die every single day. Night, rather.
Shit. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I think I left something back in the place I was squatting in. Hold on.
Mhm.
Help.
That place is called my home, thank you.
What does Electo go back and do?
Hey, Storyteller, what kind of technology would I be afforded by Columbia?
So you would have Ooh, that's a really good question.
Would I have anything similar to like a small handheld camera or like maybe an old smartphone?
Yes, I'd say like basically a broken flip phone that was clearly like a cricket phone for somebody.
Stellar. Stellar.
It's the best descriptor I could think of. Sorry. It doesn't get reception, but what it does do is it allows you to take pictures.
Well, to be fair, pretty sure I left my duffel back there because shit was weird. I had a dream. I don't dream, and I had a dream. So just a little distracted. So I'm gonna grab my duffel. I also want to snap pictures of that lab.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, anything in particular?
I don't know shit from shit. I'm strong.
Yeah.
I'm not too super smart. But
Okay.
the Columbia was interested in whatever Khalees is doing down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess just a sweep of whatever equipment is set up, whatever looks like it's being used the most, whatever looks like it's being focused on.
Can you roll me larceny and dexterity? Because I know you don't have stealth. Because otherwise, I'm gonna say that somebody might notice you slipping back to do this. If that's fair. I'm literally imagining Khalees just like standing, like posing in a door, just like
Hello?
Hello? That's 3 successes. I'm gonna willpower to see if I can get one more out of there.
okay.
4 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you get quite a few good photos. Actually, we can make this an opposed roll. Is anybody paying attention to what Electo would have been doing with, oh, I have to go back and get a thing? Is anybody interested in that? Because if you are, okay, then you're going to roll an opposed wits and awareness. And
That's my new friend. What if they
have
help?
to beat 4 successes.
That's my new friend.
They might
Oh, well.
help. What if it's big? What if it's heavy?
I will say, Electo 100% got those photos. This is just determining if people know.
Wits and awareness?
Yes.
1, 2, 3 successes. I'm going to roll. I'm going to spend a willpower. 2. All right, that's 4 successes total.
Well, hold on.
I think that goes to Defender in case of this. Okay, and what did AO get?
You can use willpower to re-roll, right?
Up to 3 dice.
Up to 3. Okay. So right now I have.
And you can't re-roll the hunger die.
Okay.
I can
have
only
2
re-roll 1 die.
successes. So far, I have 2 successes.
Do you want to spend a willpower to re-roll some dice?
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's a 6 and up. That's a success, right? Or is it 5 and up? Oh, that's unfortunate.
6 and up.
Oh, why would you say that to me? 2 successes.
Okay.
I actually secretly want Electo to win, so like.
Yeah,
Perfect.
go for
How
it.
dare you?
So you don't notice. By the time you think, I'll say that for Sunny, by the time you think, wait, and turn, Electo is already coming out of the room.
Just like shouldering the bag, making sure the machete is in place.
Okay. He watches them as they go by. Just, it's like it would be casual, but his eyes are very owlish with like the golden glow about them. So it's a little like odd.
You get like a brief glance of like, what, weirdo, and then keep walking. Like I don't say it out loud, but that's the face.
It's the face, yeah, and it's like she keeps walking and he keeps watching. And then he goes, anyway. And then he goes into
I just
Anyway.
completely tune out whatever this is.
That's totally fine. You don't have to
Because
listen.
Morgan doesn't care about cult things.
Like half listening, just like boredom more than anything else.
Ayo's
Mhm.
taking
Why not?
notes.
Sure.
I will
Morgan
ask,
is cataloging the ways she's gonna make Wayne suffer.
I will ask, Julian, does
Yes.
Sunny share the prophecy?
Yes.
I will post that
think-
in chat for everybody, and you can say it if you want.
Sure, why not? Let me get some water. Okay. Xantharus' pit hides not the moon, but she who bears it coming soon. To screens and surfaces, to eye and ear, an end somehow still not near. The worm survives, leashed into service of her, of us. Nod is here, arrived for some, paid out in dividends of glass and felt. Her touch, though we should be numb, new children born to Cain unknelt. Wax shines bright in darkness unrecognized. The moon needs no light, the fear of death now excised. It has haunted me, those words that I heard from his mouth when I breathed again. And he looks and sounds like how your elders would kind of sound, you know? It's like, but he believes in this effort that this person, that Eve will be the person to decide of whether or not vampires stay alive or if they either die or all turn human again. And it's up to her that decides. That's his big belief of this ultimate punishment / redemption.
What's everyone's expression or reaction to hearing this? Because I know some of you were tuning out, your characters were, of just like, yeah, okay, knife, brass knuckles, telescoping baton, I understand that, but those of you that
Yeah,
are
I mean, I'd
listening,
still probably hear it, but I'd probably just unless I've heard someone say this before, it's probably just like, yeah, this sounds like a cult thing someone would say.
Yeah, no, that's exact. Like storytellers, is there anybody in Columbia's domain who's into the woo woo shit?
yes, so not a lot of faiths have survived Gehenna.
Surprise.
Yeah, huge surprise. There was someone who for a while fought in the actual cage itself and did okay, but was really would not shut up about Gehenna, about the Book of Nod and all that.
Petra.
Mm-hmm.
In Sunny's desperation to get them all to believe, I have a thing, I have a lore sheet
Mm-hmm.
where my level 3 lore sheet, which was I was there,
Mm-hmm.
which means that Sunny was there for the Week of Nightmares, which basically gives him some sort of status amongst occultists is the option that I picked, or Gehenna
Yes.
occultist specifically. And I want to use this opportunity to use this status to proc some form of an illusion. Like like use some form of illusion. Oh wait, no, it's the 2.1 that does it.
Yeah.
Ravnos Remains does it. They bring news and warnings and perhaps convince cast mighty illusions once per chronicle. If discovered, it's bad. Okay, so maybe like it procs and the illusion of his embrace.
Okay.
And him meeting the thing that he called Enoch.
So all of you get this synesthetic nightmare that flashes through you with these words. Can people resist this, or is this just a thing that will be seen?
It just says they can perhaps be convinced to cast a mighty illusion once per chronicle. So that would be up to you as the ST based on considering it's a once per chronicle thing.
I will say none of your characters have to believe that this is real, but you all see it. And even as it fades, like the after image is burned onto the back of your eyes for a moment, you're not even certain that it was Sunny themselves that did it. It just, his words brought those images into your eyes.
Describe the imagery again real quick. Like what exactly we would have seen.
Would you like to, or should I?
You can describe it. You were doing great with what you were doing.
So you get that image of Sunny's embrace, but behind that, as if you ever seen a animation that's done by candlelight. So you have shadow puppets. So you see the image of Sunny's embrace. You feel the emotions briefly as like a fleeting wind that passes through you. Past that, you see a city shattering into pieces. You see a orange orb ball falling to the ground. You see it burn itself through the earth. You see that from it there is a hand that reaches out, and hands reach past it to the glow that brought it here. It's difficult to hold on to see just that one upstretched hand before it's lost. And it all fades back into the foreground image of Sunny's embrace, and then it's gone.
I have tempered will. Sort of aware that when manipulations or things are used against me, would I be aware of that?
Yes, you are fully aware of what, like, that this is something that was like visited upon you. It's just God.
What?
And it's at this point where you're all standing around the manhole, just to bring us up to physical space, or meat space, as it was earlier said.
Kind of just look over and glare at Sunny and just shake my head and start climbing down.
It's almost like he snaps out of it in time to kind of see like that last shake of your head and that glare. And then it's almost like he kind of like he comes back into reality, a la like Requiem for a Dream style. And then his shoulders kind of stiffen.
and he doesn't say anything, but he kind of like lets everyone else go down the manhole first.
Aotunde is like frozen. They stopped moving the second that vision happened, and even as people are walking down or like whatever expressions people have, Ao is standing there and staring down, but like forward, like out, sort of at the ground, and they they're frowning. They seem any semblance of them trying to hold something together has fallen away for this moment. And as they feel that image or those setup images sort of burn into their mind, they just sort of stand there in that moment and forget that there's people who are not supposed to see them that way, seeing them that way, because the world has fallen apart and they're not sure what is there yet. Um, so they just sort of stand there and stare for a moment.
What about Khalees? What's Khalees doing in this moment?
I don't think that Khalees is probably weirded out by the fact that an illusion was shared or anything along those lines. Kendra can do some crazy stuff anyway. So I feel like that is not what concerns him. It's more along the lines of making sure that everything is going forward. And so he's going to stop by the manhole cover and say, it doesn't have to be that way, according to you. Could be a nice end.
I do want it to be a nice end. We could all be human again.
I don't think everybody wants that.
That is where everyone has differing opinion.
So,
What do you want?
I'll get back to you on that one.
Take the crayon. Bring it to the door.
Let's worry about the ferryman first, then the door, then whatever's beyond the door. And if we happen to figure out what is going on with the crayons, then we can figure out the things with the crayons.
Well, you can do it while we get to the door. Just humor me. It don't take long.
So as this is happening, as Morgan is climbing down into the sewers, there's some frenzy that needs to be checked for
Yep. Because of
because
my
of a conviction.
Yep.
What is that conviction?
None shall control me.
Okie dokie. So, before we get to that, and you will make your frenzy roll,
Mm-hmm.
as you get down there and you start feeling this bubbling up and a sense of control, I'm assuming the rest of everyone climbs down into the sewers, yes?
Police will stay beside Ayotunde and won't move until Ayotunde moves.
I would will probably take a couple minutes, but we'll
Couple of minutes up on top.
I think
couple
that
minutes
Sunny
up.
would try to talk to Ayotunde. I think that he would try to say,
I'm sorry that that was shared. I think that maybe my desperation to get my point across triggered strings that I hold with the other elders. I'm sorry. Just know that you're here. As he kind of gestures to Iotunde's half corporeal, figure. And I will do whatever I can to make sure you're safe. After all, yeah, you are a part of Khaleesi's coterie. The same goes for Morgan and uh, the angry electric.
Is it ending?
It might soon, but it might be a good ending.
Ao will look at Khalees. Is that what fate says? Does fate says it's ending? Is that what was
I
supposed to
I don't
happen?
sleep. If I sleep, then I see it, and I don't want to see it.
It doesn't matter now. It's okay. We climb. We climb.
Right?
And Ao will go down.
We climb.
And you needed clarity on what to roll for your frenzy roll?
Was it willpower plus 1/3 humanity?
I believe so.
Okay.
I was currently like looking that up because while this was going on, I was like, wait. But yes, let's go with that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't re-roll that, right?
Yeah, I don't
Frenzy
think-
checks? No.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I was more asking because that's a complete botch.
Oh!
Hey, look at that.
That is 0 successes.
Are you? I need to know where I am in reference to whatever's going to happen.
Morgan went down first, so she's the
Okay.
first into the sewers.
So here's a question. They've seen you murder people before. They've
Mhm.
seen you kill, they've seen you hunt. Have any of these people seen your beast before?
Probably not. It's probably been very in control of myself at the time.
Do you want to describe what Morgan's beast looks like?
Oh God. It is this creature of flowing shadows and kind of moves in the way, like if you're viewing animation, frames are missing, it's kind of jittery and flowing and glowing red eyes.
So, as the last of you are climbing down, Electo, who's already down there, I'm assuming, because you followed Morgan down, wanting to get this done, or did you wait with the others up top?
I think there would have been a moment of like irritation because you get all sorts at the damn pit, all sorts who like to poke around in people's heads where they shouldn't be. So there's a brief glare at Sunny, but I will probably follow down pretty soon after Morgan.
So you're the first to see it. You're the first to see Morgan's there, and then Morgan isn't. And then the darkness is Morgan.
Shit.
And as this begins to stop simply surging inside of Morgan, this hunger, this hate, this violence, is about to overflow is the unmistakable sound of a door creaking open. Just and that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Knew it.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Everybody here is, I'm incredibly lucky to get to work with all these incredible people. So we're going to go around one last time, and they're going to tell you where you can see them other than this. And you can also, we have 2 more episodes, so there's more to go. Starting with Jesse.
You caught me mid theory crafting. So I will put those notes down in a second. So hey, my name is Jesse. I play Khalees the Thin Blood, who is not sure what he wants out of Gehenna, but I think Gehenna is coming anyway. So I don't think it really matters what Khalees wants. Khalees is just gonna head it face forward. So that's my thoughts. Anyway, you can find me on Jacqueline Hare, and I do streaming and I do gaming, and I'm trying to create my first long video essay, and it's in the works and it's in the progress, and I hope that by the time we make it to the end, it will be out. That's it.
Hell yeah. Going to Julian.
Hi, I'm Julian, the other half of Jacqueline Hare, and I'm also very poor. So if you like to support artists and buy art and things, you can check me out over at Jacqueline Hare Art at Etsy, and you can check me out at triangle_art_JW on Twitter and Instagram to get all of that stuff. Same handle for vgen.co if you want a commission. I do things, and you can help feed Mango. Feed her,
Feed.
please. All right.
Feed.
Anyway, but that's about it. I do games with Jesse, and I thoroughly loved this session. I love that you flex on the angelic imagery that Sunny has. It makes my artistic brain go burr, and I want to draw things from it. That's it.
Hell yeah. I'm just glad everybody's still vibing. I'm always worried that people are gonna look at me and go, that's too weird. So we're gonna go to Danny.
I love it.
Hi, my name is Danny's Corner, and Petra, you can never get too weird for me. No, I accept it. I will stand by it. My pronouns are she, they. I stream and make content sometimes over on Danny's Corner. I'm also on Twitter at Animated Pizza. I'd also have been posting on my Instagram. That is some variation of Danny's Corner, maybe. And my other places, who knows? Like this cliffhanger, you'll have to find out next time. Um, let me see. You can commission me. I take art commissions currently, so if you would like to give me money, because I don't have a mango, but I have a me. I also like to eat. um, so yeah.
You're valid. You deserve to eat way more than Mango does.
Big
No!
Listen, it isn't a contest. It's not the Gehenna here. We can all eat,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Tutu, who is currently laughing, so I'm being a dick.
Jesus. Hi, friends. You can call me Laura or Tutu or Laura Tutu. My pronouns are she, they, and I have been your bloodthirsty Bruja Electo, who probably doesn't give 2 shits either way about Gehenna as long as they get to keep fighting. So it might work out well for them. When I'm not here being dragged along for this wild post-apocalyptic ride, you can find me hanging out with fine folks over at Queen's Court Games, specifically in our multi-award winning Vampire the Masquerade podcast, The All Night Society. The season 3 is in the works. It'll be out there at some point. And when I'm not at the court giving Aaron V headaches. This year you will be able to find me playing as a special guest character in The Night in Question. Big old Sabbat LARP happening down in Texas. So keep your eyes peeled for tickets on that.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. And I think I've said hell yeah too many times. I am Fred Dursting. All right. Aubrey.
Hello, I'm Aubrey. You can find me everywhere on the internet at the Mad Queen or Mad Queen Cosplay, depending on the site. You can also find me as the technical director over on Queen's Court. You know, if you hear music on a thing, I have touched it at some point. And you know, I play games and stuff over there. I don't know what the next one that I'm in is coming out is. And you can also find me over on Goblets and Gays. Depending on when this is coming out, you're either catching the tail end of our Alien series, Mother May I, which is fantastic, and you should go listen to it, or catching the beginning of our second Pathfinder campaign, Tyrant of the Dark Star. So enjoy either of those. Listen to both. Other than that, I do a lot of things all over the place. Just keep an eye on my socials, and you'll see what I do.
So many skilled and talented people. I am always very, very happy that you've chosen to be here with me. I am still blown away that the performances y'all bring to this are incredible. I have been Petra Skelton. I will probably continue being Petra Skelton. You can find me here with VBN. You can find me over at Exquisite Corpse Games, or Exquisite Corpse Presents, where I play a Drider in an ongoing D&D game, which is really, really fun. You can find me, on Dice Cream Sandwich, where I might be in 2 different games. We'll see what's going on. I don't really know what's happening with the timeline. So many things happening at once. Otherwise, you can find me everywhere at Pre-Apocalypse. And I will have some pretty big news coming soon. A game that I've been working on for quite a while will be entering a semi-public invite-only playtest period. So look for that. If you're a fan of early 2000s action movies and martial arts films, this might be for you. Otherwise, it's been absolutely wonderful to be at this table. As always, we'll see you for the next episode. Bye.